Hello and welcome to the Cobb podcast. I am David, and as usual, I'm joined by my friends and co-hosts, Barndor,
me,
Oscar,
how's it going, everyone?
and Cyrus.
Cyrus is looking at a Ziploc bag full of Millennium Falcon.
We have a Lego Millennium Falcon. We've been talking about building that for a while, actually. We gotta get to that.
Oh, thank you. Nice.
Yeah.
What were your guys' favorite Lego sets as a kid?
Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Come on, kidding me?
Bionicles.
Yo, there you
Not
go. Damn.
Lego.
Yes,
Lego
is.
trademark. Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bionicles
Are
were
you
made by Lego.
serious?
Yeah.
Lego products.
Dude, they came up with like a 20th anniversary of it, and they're like little tiny fucking Lego men with little circle heads. They're disgusting.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
All those-
usually whenever like a set of the Bionicles came out, there was like a Lego set of the Bionicle characters.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
There's even a TV show on I don't know what channel it was.
Bionicles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
That was they made the show for that. Like each character had a background with the show they did.
The
tool.
That's pretty cool.
I had the game on the Wii, Bionicle Heroes.
I had that one
Wow.
for the
I think I
GameCube.
remember.
I think I had it for the DS or the Game Boy.
Hero mode turned gold. Just shit on everybody.
It's weird how there's those universal games where you feel like you were the only person that played it and everybody just had it for a different console.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because the mid-2000s was like, hey, let's put it on GBA and PS3.
For me, when you told me you played Tony Hawk's Underground, I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know anyone else. I thought I was the only person that found that.
That's a mad popular game, too.
Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah,
That one's pretty
I fucking
big.
know that game.
Everybody remembers latching onto that green car at least once.
Yeah, I prefer Underground, but Underground 2 had a better engine.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The maps in that game were...
And then, but I mean,
Underground 2 had the car, right?
Underground one car.
Underground 1 had the
Yeah,
car.
the little green car with the spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But and I just want to say, fuck Eric Sparrow. Thank you.
Fuck Eric Sparrow.
That's all I want to say.
We've said that many times.
Yeah, I fucking hate Eric Sparrow.
We mean it this time. Fuck you, Eric Sparrow.
Yeah,
Jack's brother?
Yes.
I don't know Eric Sparrow's.
he's the antagonist in Tony Hawk's Underground.
Maybe,
Fuck you,
Amber
Eric
Heard
Sparrow.
Yeah.
was accidentally with Eric Sparrow when that all happened.
Huh.
She gave him the black eye.
But then who was Johnny with?
I don't know, but I believe her fucking evil clone. I don't know.
You're an evil clone.
Yeah, it turns out it's just a mirror. Yeah, maybe she was just hanging out with Eric Sparrow. Because I 100% believe that Eric Sparrow will be put on a watch list for some heinous crime. 100%.
Dude, yeah, he did, man. He falsified the information.
Hate
Yeah.
that man.
FBI should be after him any second. Piece of shit. If your name's actually Eric Sparrow, no, please.
Shit looks like it's held together by duct tape.
Let's go skating.
Oh, you stole my footage. No, I didn't.
I did the trick.
I did the trick.
You know what's funny, Cyrus?
It was my shoot.
You know how he convinced everybody in the game and how he oh, that was his footage? He went up to like the Jumbotron. And that they were playing the footage of your character doing like a trick. So he goes up there with like, I don't know how he gets up there, and then tapes to the screen a photo of his face over your face, and people think that it's him.
Huh.
Like it's legit, like not CGI. Like
It's like a fucking cartoon.
yes, I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
The big Slam Jam or whatever it was.
The Slam
Slam
Jam.
City Jam.
There you go.
Huh.
What? That was my trick. And then your character punches the armrest.
And then you're stuck in Toronto,
Vancouver.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in Vancouver. And then you go to Russia.
And you get stuck in Russia.
Yeah, fucking Eric Sparrow in the game. You guys kidnap a tank because he gets really drunk one night, and you're there to help him and get him out of the tank.
With skateboards.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
And he's in the tank, and you get in the tank too, and he starts driving around the city. And just before it crashes into the embassy, he hops out, and then you crash into the building, and then a rock falls on top, and you get blamed for it. And the Russia's totally like, don't do that again.
Yeah, get out. And then your team that like brought you there abandons you and leaves you there. You need to figure out a way to get back.
Figure out a way to get back home to New Jersey.
Joyzy.
And then you go beat the fuck out of Eric Sparrow.
Yeah, so there's two endings to the game. In the regular ending of the game, what happens is Eric Sparrow, nothing bad ever happens to Eric Sparrow. He goes on and lives a successful career. But you become a hometown hero at the local skate shop, and all the pros respect you. The ending to the game is the actual footage of what happened in Hawaii, because in Hawaii, what happened was you jump from the hotel roof onto another roof over a helicopter, and you do a McTwist. And it's supposed to be 6 footage. Eric stole it and portrayed it as his, so everyone thinks it was him. But he still has the raw and edited tape of your character doing it, correct?
Huh.
The end of the game is you have to do a giant trick line. Winner takes the tape. if you beat the game on sick and you play through the game again, instead of doing the long line to win the tape at the end of the game, you just punch him in the face and you take the tape, and you don't have to do the final part of the game.
That's awesome.
And the game ends with you just decking Eric Sparrow.
Great thing ever.
That is awesome. So if you've never played through Tony Hawk's Underground twice, there is a secret ending.
That's
Dude,
pretty sick.
The multiplayer on that game too was fucking nice as well.
Yeah.
There was a fireball a fireball game where every time you did a kickflip, you shoot a fireball in front of you, and then you just go and like go after your friends and just shoot fireballs.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Classic graffiti, where the more tricks you or the more tricks that you do on specific objects, that you'll claim them as your own, and it'll paint it a different color. So yeah, red player.
It's a good game. Good game. Had it on the PS2.
Speaking of cold places, did you guys ever play a Wii Ski Resort?
I did not play Ski Resort.
Dude, that game was so much fun. Okay, so you could go to a ski resort, and I'm not sure, I think it was only one resort, but there was multiple different, I don't know what they call them, like lines you could go down, you know? And sometimes, or I think you could choose the time of day. So I would always go at night, and there's all these bunch of lights. But for the Wii, and just like actually skiing, downhill skiing, what?
Yeah.
Downhill skiing?
It
It was fun,
How's
you know,
it
like
Yeah.
On the water.
yeah.
Water skiing.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got
but
us
when
there.
okay.
But that's
Water skiing is
wakeboarding.
not-
No, that's
Okay.
water skiing. You use skis on the water.
Yeah. Waterboarding is with just like a
an actual
small
board,
surfboard.
yeah.
Oh,
It's like a half-size surfboard.
I've never gone, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I wanted to try.
Bucket list for sure.
Absolutely.
I went when I was a kid, but I couldn't get up. So, you know.
You're gonna have that problem again in like 40 years.
Sorry, dude.
No, but the
40,
game
what
was
were you-
so
what?
fun.
Fucking
60?
70. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You can play it with the Wii Fit board as well, I think. And we had one of those as kids, and God, that game was fun. Did you guys play Wii Sports at all?
Oh,
Wii
we played the
Sports.
shit out of
Wii Sports and
Sports
Wii
was
Play
the
was the
shit.
best.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Remember the cow game?
Yep.
Yeah.
They just came out with the one for Switch.
Right.
Switch Sports.
We Switch Sports.
It's
Or
we Switch Sports.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, it's Wii Sports. Sorry.
But it's the same. I haven't checked anything
I'm
out about it.
still calling it Wii Sports. It looks good. They have bowling again. I saw some homie. He was oh man, he was trying to bowl a strike on both the Switch and the Wii.
At the same
So
time.
he had both controllers in his hand, and he was playing both games at the same time. So he had one set up on the tiny Switch screen. He had one the Wii beamed on his TV.
Amazing.
Wii beaming.
Max Gaming right there.
Yeah.
Okay. There were red models of the Wii, right?
Yes,
I have one.
My buddy has one.
I have one.
Yep.
That's pretty sick. I mean, weren't there black editions as well?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Black, white, and red, I think, were the three colors that came in.
That's pretty
There
cool.
was a blue one too, a light blue one.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, what?
I think,
Oh.
but I think the blue one. So there were two models of the Wii. There was the original Wii, which came with the two GameCube slots and the 4 GameCube controllers on top, and it allowed you to use GameCube controllers in some Wii games, and you could also play GameCube games, of course, on the system. And then I think the light blue one, they revised it. They took away the GameCube.
And it was just only Wii stuff.
Yep.
That's
And it was
smart.
kind of odd. Well, it was a cheaper option, and some people just didn't have a GameCube, so they were like, "What's the point?"
Right.
So it helped those people out because at some point they stopped selling GameCube shit. So
Yeah.
it just helped out the consumer that was like, "Well, I have no interest in GameCubes." And then the third revision was called the Wii Mini. It was only $100. It was the cheapest Wii, but you couldn't connect it to the internet.
What?
And it was a top loader, like a PS2. Like, remember the PS2 Slim? How it would pop the top of it open?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a tray? That was the entire console. And it was red and black. And it's the oddest looking Wii that they made, but it can't connect to the internet. It's just for, like, you have kids that want to fuck around and play chicken shoot. There you go.
Like the Switch Lite, kind of.
Yeah, it does one very specific thing.
It's just a handheld gaming device.
Pretty much because the Switch Lite compared to the regular Switches, you can't detach the controllers and you can't dock it to your TV.
It's just for on the
It's
go.
a handheld system,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Black Ops 1 on the Wii?
Yeah.
God, no.
I had a buddy that had it.
I don't know.
Bro, me too. That game was so wild on the Wii.
I didn't know that was
Way to
possible.
go, party foul.
Dude, I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. Do you have to shit?
No, not yet.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got one building.
We know what that means, and you know.
Dude, I didn't know you could even play like Call of Duty or like first-person shooters on the
Yeah.
Wii.
Right?
They were
I-
awesome.
I didn't know. I know they were like it was just like rail shooters, but not like Call of Duty.
Modern
Medal of
Warfare
Honor,
Reflex.
Medal of Honor Vanguard, Medal of Honor Heroes 2, Call of Duty 3 had one.
Was it Black Ops 2 on there?
I don't think so.
So there was Modern Warfare 4, but it wasn't called Call of Duty 4. It was Modern Warfare Reflex on the Wii. Then they skipped. Sorry, I should talk to the mic. Anyway, they skipped World at War and they skipped Modern Warfare 2. That you could only get those on the DS.
What?
Yeah.
And
The World at War on the DS was pretty cool.
they came back with Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3. And I don't know if I've told it on the podcast, but the first time I played Modern Warfare 3 was on a Wii because my buddy's like, I have it. And I went to his house and he had it on the Wii, and I was like, fucking god damn it.
It's corrupt.
Yeah, what is this?
That's disgusting. Like up that controller.
But that was the newest system he had in the house, so I was like, okay. Black Ops 2 and Ghost are on the Wii U.
Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
And if you've never played Black Ops 2 on the Wii U, it's a cool experience because if you're split screening with somebody plays on the TV and somebody uses the gamepad.
Oh.
So if you're sitting in the same room, you can just have somebody turn around and then you guys can do a 1v1.
And then beat the shit out of each other.
Whoever has the fucking thing just turns around and smacks it.
Yeah, no, right? Just throws it.
I am
The
done.
Wii U gamepad is a marvel. It's
Really?
Yeah, man. You can like have the TV going while someone else is watching like their program, and then you can just still be playing the Wii U on there.
a lot of the first party Nintendo games they built to be 5 players. It was 4 regular controllers and then one person holds the gamepad. But the way that the Wii U works is you treat the gamepad like controller 1. That is the main controller for the system. Do not get it twisted. You can use Wii remotes and nunchucks; those work with the Wii U, and you can use Wii U Pro controllers, which mimic actual standard controllers with 2 grips. Yeah. The Wii U is a very cool system. The problem is Nintendo just
Doesn't care.
pissed off all their developers, so nobody wanted to make games for it.
Yeah.
That's why we still haven't seen Call of Duty since Ghost. Ghost is the last game on a Nintendo system.
So is
Fucking shame.
Is the
Yeah.
Nintendo system more for kids then, or is it more for? Doesn't not really a selective?
It's very proprietary too. If you like Nintendo content, I guess at this point. And now that the Switch is out, it's now portable.
Yeah.
The Wii U was a cool thing, but the problem is that people just were like, I want my games to run better, because the fact that the Wii U came out the year before the Xbox and it was a slightly more powerful 360 really bummed a lot of people.
Imaginably so.
Yeah, because by the time the Wii U came out, the 360 was 7 years old.
Yeah.
They were less than a year away from the Xbox One PS4 launching. And the Switch is getting it. The Switch is getting there in power. I mean, they have the new OLED screens for the handheld options, which, I mean, if you want handheld options, there's
I mean, that's just pointless. It's just a better screen, right? It's not like a better processor or anything.
It's got a better stand on the system itself. So, like, you know how the regular Switch has that weird dingle that comes out of the bottom
This
of the
single
corner?
little
Show
rectangle.
you
Now
my
it's
Google.
now it's a giant blade that comes out. It's got a bigger screen, and the dock comes with a cable to plug it into the internet. You don't need to buy a USB adapter; it just comes built in.
Oh.
Something they should have done out of the box. Holy shit! They cheaped out on the dock, and they didn't put an internet option in there to like get a hardwired connection. And they're like, "Oh, you can buy this USB adapter for $30."
Huh.
But I don't want to.
I don't wanna. Well, you got to.
You gotta.
Guys, ever played Rampage on the Wii?
I played it on the GameCube. Total
Okay,
Destruction.
Yep.
Oh, that's the
monsters,
tower.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Wii version of that game's Total Destruction, I think was what it's called.
Total Destruction.
Rampage World Tour or something like that. It had every Rampage game in it.
Whoa.
Plus
Yeah.
the new Wii version.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's dope. It's like a collection kind of.
Yeah, because
Kind of.
the one on the GameCube had all the original ones with it as well.
I always remember the closer you got to level 100, it was like in the 90s and the 100s, there was Reno eventually, because you just go around destroying cities, and we were playing it until we got to Reno, and I was like, yeah, Reno.
Hey.
That's cool.
It was a fun game. All you did was climb buildings, beat the buildings with your fists, and
Eat
then
people.
You could eat people.
You could be a monkey,
Stomp on the
A lizard and
people.
a werewolf.
a lizard,
And then there was, in Total Destruction, had like 10 other monsters that were unlocked. That
Oh,
were
really?
new with it, yeah.
I want to see if it's on Xbox, because it's a really good 3-player game.
It's a fucking fun game.
Only 3 players? It's only
Yeah,
3 players.
3
it's
player,
3
yeah.
players.
Wow.
The original game only had 3 monsters, but the Wii version had like 20. You could swap through them
Jesus.
between the 3 people.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
You found them through the cities and stuff. You had to break a certain part of a building.
Oh, like
To-
break
to-
them
and,
free.
and release them before you broke the building, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
The other party game I'm thinking of is Did you guys ever play Raymond, Raving Rabbids?
Yes.
On Nintendo Wii.
Raven I think so.
That
I
game was the
remember
first time I heard the song Funky Town, and it's how I always hear it in my head.
It is a party game with those stupid little rabbits.
It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant, dude.
For sure.
Oh man,
I don't think I've ever played that one.
It got competitive in my house with that game. Me and my brothers were like very competitive over that fucking game for some reason.
You guys have the rubber guards on the Wii controllers?
Every one of my Wii controllers has one of them.
Yeah, these sure. I guess you got thrown, you'll bounce right off.
Yeah.
My dad liked them because he could actually hold the controller.
Yeah.
The controller would just slip out of his hand.
Did you use the wrist strap?
He would. That's why he had the wrist strap, and he would keep the fucking glove on it.
The wrist strap was perfect for hitting yourself in the face when it comes back around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, kids.
that was its whole purpose.
I would always hit my knee.
Hey kids, wear your wrist straps. They're important.
I would use them like nunchucks and
Yeah, I'd just
Always
spin it
give
around my
myself-
wrist.
Smack yourself
Yeah.
with the fucking controller.
yeah.
Testing the dexterity of a fucking wrist strap.
Yeah.
Poor Wii.
They built them strong though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Built for
I don't think I ever had a wrist strap that broke.
I don't think I ever broke a controller actually.
Oh,
I don't know.
The
Yeah.
nunchucks always broke.
Yeah.
Not the remotes though.
no, I still have. I have the original Wii remote that came with my Wii back in 2006.
I think I do.
So
as
you got the
well.
oldest Wii known to
Yeah,
man.
it's plugged into Wii Motion Plus, and it's got the big jacket. It looks like a giant fucking wand.
Wand.
Yeah, it's huge and bulky, and love it.
That's pretty sick.
I also have a Rock Candy one. Those ones are good too.
Wait, Rock Candy Wii controller?
Yeah, it's a Wii remote and Wii mote.
Oh,
and a nunchuck, and the nunchuck's got a fat butt on it. I don't know why.
What color
It's
do you got?
thick. It's a blue
Thick.
remote and a yellow nunchuck.
Oh. All
That's,
right.
that's cool.
Fucking macaroni. Craft macaroni.
I'll bring them next week, and you can see what I'm talking
Heck
about.
yeah.
Oh no, they're right here in the podcast episode.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that.
You little bitch.
Amazing.
What do you think?
Power of video technology.
The power of movie magic.
Yeah, I'll put it right there somewhere.
It's still on the screen. It's been on the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's gone now. You missed your chance.
Oh, there it is?
Yep, that's
There it
gone.
goes, there it goes. Now it's your last.
Oh, one more time. There it is.
Ah.
And it's gone.
All right, that's a little too much, man. I gotta.
Thank you, visit video listeners.
Real
Lads.
quick, we should do the shout out earlier in the episode. Go check out our Patreon. We're doing a movie.
Yeah, we're
And
making-
Yeah.
Making a fucking horror comedy movie.
The hominy.
the hominy.
The hominy. That's what it's called.
Coming in 2022.
Comedy.
Wait, 2023, right?
You only need to pledge $1 to get everything on our Patreon, and we've got a couple of videos up there right now, and
I
the
pledge more.
library's growing.
Yeah. We need
It's
to work
getting
on
bigger
more.
and bigger and bigger.
It's hard to build a bigger library when nobody wants to watch it.
Well, it's hard deciding what to put up there as well.
That's true.
Tell us what you want to put up there. Put that in the comments.
Yeah, if you're our
What
only
would you-
patron, you can just tell us what to do.
What would
That
you
easy.
pay to watch?
Yeah,
It's like OnlyFans.
yeah.
Okay, well, hold on.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
We take tips,
We still
okay?
need to find Cyrus's OnlyFans before we do any of our own OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brendan, you need to make yours first. We're waiting on it. Caleb's waiting on it.
Since
Cable?
what? Like
Caleb.
from
Yeah.
like episode 5.
Yeah.
You guys can check our link tree for all that too.
Not the OnlyFans, unfortunately.
No, you
But
have to find that
everything
yourself.
else is fine.
Yeah, that's a fucking jigsaw puzzle.
Hell yeah, brother.
What they call
All
us
right, with
hide and
that being
seek.
said, I got a shit, bro.
All right.
Oh, I hear gurgling over there. You will accuse.
It's shaking in his boots.
You know what's funny?
What?
When I was born, I gave my mom a limp for 2 months because my head was so big. I dislocated her left leg.
That's how
We're
we're gonna go
returning on
back
that.
into the podcast.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to.
100%.
I'm just saying, we're just talking about my big ass head. She's always reminded me of that.
Yeah.
He's like, I had a limp because of you one time. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks, man.
Good job, Oxford's mother.
Shoot. Well, what do we got?
So,
yeah.
I'm the achievement guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Sony announced that with the PS1 titles that are hitting their new PlayStation Plus platform, they're making a Game Pass competitor where they're going to put old PlayStation games available to play on PlayStation
Nice. Okay.
at a cost of I think it's like $18 a month.
Is that included with the online play?
Yeah,
Okay.
Huh.
so it's a little more expensive than Game Pass
Pass.
Ultimate, but they're promising their first party titles from like the PS3, PS2, PS1 eras. They've announced they're going back and they're retroactively adding trophies to PS1 games.
Oh shit.
Oh. Okay.
I guess there's now a debate on original Xbox games that are backwards compatible if they should add achievements to those games.
Huh.
Well, they added achievements to in the MCC for Halo Combat Evolved.
But it is an Xbox One game technically. It's not an Xbox game. Like if you popped in the Xbox disc, one you wouldn't be able to play because it's not backwards compatible.
Oh.
It's an Xbox One game that launched in the year 2014.
Huh.
We're talking about like Battlefront 2 that came out in 2005.
All right. What about Fusion Frenzy? Is there achievements in Fusion Frenzy?
No, that's what I'm saying. So imagine if they added achievements to a game like Fusion Frenzy. Stop playing footsie with that. Made a
No.
ding noise.
Way to go, dude.
Yeah, sorry, everybody heard it. I'm self-conscious now.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
if you guys hear a fan, it's just the computer, so my apologies.
yeah. Go put your ear up next to your computer, like at home, you the viewer, and get the same experience.
Talking
Yeah.
you, Kevin.
Yeah.
What if his name is Marshall?
He knows.
Okay.
Sorry, Marshall. I don't know, but would that be interesting? I know for people that don't give a shit about achievements, they could care less.
Well, I mean, it's fun to get them.
Game
When I'm
report.
playing a game and an achievement pops, it feels good.
Yeah.
I'll go back and play it. Me personally, I won't play. I don't have the dedication to play a game to completion like you do. I
course.
find it crazy that you can
Yeah.
fucking.
How many games do you have completed already?
Yeah.
126.
Why?
Because I don't know.
I like games.
I like
That's-
games, okay?
It's dedication and it's hard work and it's cool. It's an achievement, you know, and it's cool to have in your pocket. And yeah, I would think, or I do think that would be very cool to see implemented into older games. It would give
The reasons to go back.
Yeah, it would give you more reason to go back.
Dude, imagine achievements in Oblivion, because that's on Game Pass.
Oh, that
There
would be
are
cool.
achievements in Oblivion. It's a 360
Sorry.
game.
No? Or, not
Oblivion?
Oblivion, Morrowind, sorry. The older one.
Yeah, Morrowind.
Yeah, that's the
Morrowind.
one. I tried playing it, I fucking couldn't do it. I got
without a map.
I got pampered by fucking new games.
Yeah, newer games. We forget how convenient newer games are.
Yeah, dude.
because playing GTA 4 was miserable. It was pretty miserable.
Right.
I mean, that was one of the first games that brought about the waypoint system. Correct.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way the game pampers you when compared to 5. You go back and you play an old GTA game. I remember downloading Vice City on mobile, and it's like, oh, your mission's over here, and I'm like, cool.
How do I get there?
Oh, there's no waypoint.
Yeah. What?
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
I just gotta drive there, remember the roads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really got to figure it out. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
so Oscar, you're talking about fuck, were you talking about? I haven't learned object permanence yet. It's setting in.
The what's it called? Older Xbox games getting that.
Oh yeah, Morrowind. Yeah, the map.
Morrowind, yeah.
The map is janky.
Right.
Good luck finding your quests and your.
All the
missions.
signs are super fucking hard to read.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just gotta either go to YouTube.
If you're listening to the game, you need to listen to where you're going and what you need to do, because if you miss that information,
You're fucked.
Good luck.
there may not be another way to pull up that information without looking it up online.
Right.
Or
Right.
reverting back to an old save, because those games require manual saves.
God, that was another thing, dude. The manual saves. Me personally, I'm so used to just the auto saves at this point that I got into Morrowind and I did a few quests, and then I went back the other day and there was nothing done.
It was such a big deal back then when you forgot to save your game. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, nowadays I go.
3 hours of progress. God.
Yeah, nowadays I go, this game's got autosave, right? And I don't give a shit. I just crash a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll figure it out
I
later.
just kick my Xbox to shut it off, and it'll save it regardless.
right.
It was so irritating as a kid when you realized you didn't save your game.
Yeah.
Worst. I know there's people, they just didn't have memory cards growing up for some reason.
Yeah.
And they would try and play the game in one go or not shut off the system so that they can continue the gameplay the next time they came back around to it, and then their mothers would come by and shut it off or something like that, going, oh, why is this on?
My game.
Can you imagine beating Tony Hawk without turning off the system?
God.
Fuck that. It would break my system. Especially on the PS2, if you let that thing run overnight,
Yep.
Wait.
that would fuck it.
That's how I played Tony Hawk. I didn't have a storage, so I would restart every time.
Oh, okay.
Every time you wanted to play it,
Yeah. Because
fuck.
my storage was full and I didn't know any better at that time.
Like
so
how
I
to
just
get rid of stuff.
restarted it
Yeah.
every time. Yeah. That was goofy.
I was dumb as a kid, and just like the concept of save data was so foreign to me.
Yeah.
We'd always have the memory cards, and I knew what they did. It was so you could save your game, but I would never save my game. I think we got our first GameCube in like 2004. I think it was that Christmas. and it came bundled with, I'm trying to think of the name of the game. There was a disc, and it had Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and the OG Zelda game on it from the NES.
Wow.
And it was all bundled in with the GameCube, and then it gave you a demo for Wind Waker.
Damn.
Do you understand how many times I restarted Majora's Mask? Every time, like, I think it was every day I played that game for like a month or something like that when I was like 5.
Yeah.
Every fucking day, boot up that game, start over.
Yeah.
Play through it for like 30, 40 minutes because my child brain went, I'm tired of this. Come back the next day, start it over.
Right.
And like you get faster and faster each time.
No, I never learned how to play the game. It was always confusing, but I just like the idea. Here's the thing about kids. They just like running around.
Right.
If you're 5, give them a game where they can just run around as a character. Because that is all they need.
That's pretty much what I did in Halo 1. That's kind of the game I grew up on the original Xbox, and I would just go into that first mission, fuck around at the crash site, cross the bridge, fuck around with that Banshee, and it'd probably die like 20 times to that, and then I would get past that checkpoint and fight in that main first facility, and probably not get much further than that. But it was good, you know? It was fun.
I had hella fun.
Yeah.
My dad had Tekken 3 for the PS1.
Yeah.
And he would give us a controller, and he'd be like, all right, let's play. And then it finally set in that we're children. Because he would just sit there and whoop us, and it wasn't even close. So he would just sit there and give me and Tyson a controller and just let us fucking play each other. And it was always just us just mashing whatever fucking buttons. And it wasn't, there was no thought behind our eyes as to who's doing what in that game.
No, it was just, I must destroy.
It's fun. I have a controller, and when I push a button, my character sometimes does what I want it to do.
That's how I still play fighting games. Let's just mash the shit out of the buttons.
I remember playing at N64. I think it was at a parent's friend's house. And this was like young, maybe like 4 or 5 years old. And it was one of those times where I was with someone younger than me, and they had the second controller on a one-player game, and they're just sitting there like, I'm playing the alligator, right? And I'm like, yeah,
totally.
And I'm just playing the level by myself. Those moments were fun.
Like you see a bad guy, like, oh, see that? That's you. That's you right there.
And they go,
Gotcha.
no, yes, and then they mash buttons and they think they're doing something.
Oh, I'm beating you. Oh, yeah, totally.
I don't think it ever happened to me because, you know, my dad is always get the fuck out or something like that.
Right.
I want a controller. No, I'm playing. Or
I'm playing.
We only had one controller.
I'm playing Ocarina of Time. No, you can't.
There was no second controller to mash.
Oh.
I always remember my dad being very good at Madden, and I thought he was like the world's greatest Madden player because I remember coming out one time and he was up like 80-0 in a game.
Damn.
Just whooping on the other team, just sitting there scoring touchdowns. Looking back, he was just probably playing on rookie.
Right.
That's what I do now. I just play on rookie and whoop on the other team because it's fun.
Couldn't you do like a rewind at some point? Wasn't there kind of
Yeah.
a replay or rewind
In Madden
system?
10, at least I had Madden 10 on the 360. You could rewind plays.
Okay.
Something didn't go your way, rewind.
Right. That might have been a thing
What?
like Madden 04.
Okay.
Maybe I'm probably wrong.
I
I'm
didn't
just
start-
talking out my ass.
Madden 10 was the first one that I physically owned in my hands and was playing religiously.
Okay.
Because up until then, it was just whatever my dad had on the PS2.
Right.
Only sport. I only had like sport game. I had was Split Second. That was a racing game.
Okay, I have that. It was free on Xbox 2
It's
years
so
ago.
much fucking fun.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Hell yeah, dude! I didn't know it was made by Disney.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was just about to mention it's a Disney joint.
It's fucking
it's
nuts.
so much fun.
Like, dude, I love it. You just like, that one airport level, you just blow up the fucking control tower to make a whole new route to go.
Thank you for reminding me to beat it because I still haven't beat it. I played through like half of it and I was like, this is awesome, and I haven't picked it back up.
There's one car that looked like a Mustang, but it was like one of like the elite cars, or that's all black. And that's the one I used to fucking beat it all. I just kept like fucking plowing through them.
Man, one of my weird obscure childhood games was a game called Monster Madness: Battle for Suburbia. We played it at my house.
Yes.
Would you agree that is a dope game? for
Fuck
what it
yeah,
is?
yeah. It's like a top down like beat 'em up.
Okay.
I've never met anybody that's played it, let alone that has ever even heard of it.
Yeah.
And it's on the Xbox 360.
Okay.
Such a fun game.
Yeah. You could like transform into the monsters and like fight back, like fight them as the monsters.
Yeah, you go up to Larry and his band, and he sells you like
Frying
amulets
pans and
tubes
shit.
and
Dang.
you can get new
That's
weapons.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so basically the whole point of the game is it's a top-down like Dead Ops Arcade, like a twin stick shooter.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it is a twin stick shooter. But the weapons that you get in the game are built from the parts that you pick up. So you get nail guns, and those simulate dual-wield pistols. You can get a pipe shotgun, which is just a giant pipe that shoots shotgun shells.
Dang.
There's a CD launcher, and it's like a obelisk gun where it sits there and it shoots blades out.
Huh.
So much fun.
Fucking A. That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. We should definitely play that for the channel if you get a chance.
Okay.
Because we get 4 people, it's all on the same screen. We could do a full series run through of it.
Because we Freedom Frenzy at one point. I'm just saying, it's a fun ass game.
I think we have a lot of games we want to play through. We just have to actually sit down and finish it because we still haven't finished Overcooked.
That's true.
We have 3 parts up. We have 3 to go, I think. I think there's 6 worlds in that game.
Yeah, we got it. It's easy. It's just Overcooked, right? How hard could it be?
Yeah, we
It's
totally.
just sitting down and getting to
Get through
complete
it.
a full level.
If you're watching this episode on the opening day, you know damn well we just uploaded NBA Street.
Yeah.
And you better like that video.
Yeah, man. Shaq is
Right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Top right.
Click
Yep.
the card in the top right. No, Shaq is unstoppable in NBA Street Home Court.
a
I know
beast,
a lot of
bro.
people criticize that game. I see the criticisms behind it because like I played the original NBA Streets, like Volume 2, I think it was, on the GameCube.
Okay.
This game doesn't hold a candle to what Volume 2 was, but it's still a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
It's all we got.
It's a blast.
It's blast. So
Yeah.
Dude, I love just like going from half court and just dunking from half court.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to like the certain controls, and it's probably just a lack of playing the older games like that. But I'm getting the hang of it.
The old games I think control way better.
Right.
This one takes a little bit more skill because it requires more
Like
finite
button
controls.
inputs and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah,
I
every
do
time I would go to
combos.
dunk, I would either just dunk it early, or I would fill my bar up all the way and exceed the
Boing.
limit, and then just
Yeah,
boing.
Badoing. The
So-
Badoinkster.
Dude,
Yeah.
but sometimes when you pass that ball, he'll just fucking rocket it
Yeah.
out in the other space.
Well, if you're, I noticed if you're sprinting and you pass the ball, he just goes over the head and just yeets that.
I've also noticed when somebody jumps up on the rim, like when they do this, like the AI, if you pass it to him at X, it automatically passes it to them and they dunk it every time.
Okay.
Brandon was getting pissed off, and I was like, just look at the button commands.
Right.
Like the guy like kneeling down in the circle.
If you run up on him and press circle, that's a basket every time.
The
Okay.
helipad.
Mm-hmm.
So the game has its broken fixtures that let you
It's a feature that everybody is able to take advantage of. It's not
not so much
some
broken.
bullshit that happens.
Right.
We just turn off game breakers because fuck that.
Yeah.
It gets rid of a point. No, thank you.
I didn't. Oh man, it never. That's the first time I've ever seen a game breaker get rid of points on the other team. That is actually game breaking.
Yeah.
Because like from what I remember from NBA Street and NFL Street, a game breaker just maxes out your character stats all the way to 10
Okay.
on every single category. So you were just the ultimate player. On
Yeah.
But it was only whoever you selected.
Uh-huh.
So if you had 7 people on the field, the guy that you're using was the game breaker guy. And so basically every time you tackle somebody, they immediately fumble. It's so easy to jump up and grab a pick and stuff like that. It was basically a turnover machine if you're on defense. And if you're on the offense, just run the ball and you just sit there and just plow through everybody.
Yeah, just dunk.
You literally break every tackle. Like, it's very rare to get tackled with a game breaker.
Yeah, we'll
That's
keep
cool.
playing that though, because that's hella fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's a good one to keep in the cycle.
Mhm.
We're going to start having Daisy uploads soon, too. As soon as I get a good schedule going on that,
Correct.
we're going to have Monday uploads for that series until we're done with that server. So be sure to go check that out as well. I remember playing a little bit of a golf game on the PS2. Did you guys ever play any golf?
I had
It was the...
fuck.
I don't know what the golf association. PGA. Yes, it was the PGA.
Tiger Woods.
2000. Yeah, Tiger Woods.
I-
PGA Tour.
I
Yeah.
played Tiger Woods 2010 on the Wii, and it was a surprisingly good simulation game for the time.
Yeah.
Because that was just before Kinect and the Move controllers,
Mm.
so there was only one way to play Tiger Woods with motion controls.
Fucking
On the Wii.
Huh.
Yo,
That's pretty
it's
cool,
a
though.
really good experience. I think I still own the game, but I remember my parents used to play it all the fucking time. I remember we had once we got our 360, we kind of moved it into it wasn't really a family room, but it was just the area next to the front door.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a tiny TV that we used to play Black Ops on.
Huh.
And my childhood, I always remember in the summers, we would just sit there, play Black Ops. Me and Tyson would swap controls.
Yeah.
Sitting there watching each other play and stuff like that. And then our parents would be in the living room blasting music, playing Tiger Woods.
That's pretty cool.
And they would always play, and it was always competitive.
I don't remember.
That's my stroke.
Yeah, because like they had Wii Golf, and they played that. They thought that was fun, and then they decided to finally get a Tiger Woods game, and they just fell in love with that because
Huh.
it was a lot more tactical, and it was full courses, and you had to actually sit there and choose
Right.
your clubs. You know,
Like, it's
your
like
1
golf.
through 9 iron and stuff.
Like golf.
Yeah, it was actual golf.
That's pretty cool.
And there was a story mode where you just played through a schedule, and they were leveling up their characters in in their free time.
Oh my god.
And they would actually battle with their custom characters that they would get.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should definitely after we get all these done with all these other like lights plays we're going, we should do some like Wii games on there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Bowling, competitive bowling.
A bowling circuit.
Boxing, yeah. Or the tennis. Like, it could be 4-player tennis.
Dude, boxing used to piss me off. We're back to Wii Sports. Man, Jay was so fucking good at Wii boxing. It pissed me off that he would always beat me. He'd always beat. I'd never win.
Because he couldn't understand his hands.
Couldn't understand it. No, he figured out a move with the nunchuck where if you swung it like this, it was almost a knockout punch. It took out like half your health.
Oh my god.
Every single time you punched somebody like that, and I was like, how the fuck are you doing that? I'm trying to.
I'm not telling you.
You know when you look at somebody and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I refused to play him at boxing. Kind of a dick. I was like, no, we're playing tennis. I'm going to smack you real quick.
Go upside the head.
Yeah.
Tennis was the fucking A1 game mode.
One thing I used to do on tennis was like I put myself on both sides of the court, right?
Yeah.
So like if I swung on my side, the other side swings at the same time.
All 4 players.
All 4 players would swing. And so I get the ball in the middle, and the front 2 guys, I'll just fucking fling it back and forth, and they would knock the ball back and forth.
That's funny.
Or you do 2 on one team, 1 on the other, and just have AI running around doing whatever for no reason.
Just jumping.
AI's like, why am I here? It's looking around at the other 2 users. Have you seen these 2 guys? Oh, it's you too.
Oh my god.
Oh man. I'm trying to think of other legendary Wii games that I had. Everybody had Super Mario Bros. Wii, right?
Right.
Yeah. Fucking
the red case.
the fucking Ben 10 game that came out on the Wii. Did anyone play that?
Oh,
yep.
what?
There's a Ben. Yeah, the fucking. It was a sick Ben 10 game.
Okay.
Where, like, it was not open world, but you just could run through levels and you could swap between the aliens from the movies. I don't know what about it. It was just hella fun to play.
Yeah.
Crash of the Titans was a lot of fun. Yeah. I know people look back and they criticize it, but as a kid, that shit rocked.
It was awesome. I loved it. I had it on my PSP.
That's why Tyson's gamertag is Scorpilla, because he misspelled Scoropilla.
Scorpilla.
Yeah, it's a scorpion gorilla. They're in Crash of the
Yeah,
Titans.
and if you equip the matching outfit to the monster, if you one hit the monster to tie jacket.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
I loved
pretty
it.
sick.
Yeah, Tyson's got a lot of Mexican friends that call him Scorpia, and he's just like, no. He's like, no.
That's not it, man. Scorpilla.
I'm trying to think of any significant Wii games that I had.
Mario Galaxy? You ever play Mario Galaxy?
Fuck yeah. Mario Galaxy was fucking legit.
Hell yeah, it was.
That one was fun as hell.
Yeah, Jay was all over it. He has the game guide still, I think, to this day.
What?
Dude, it's so sick.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I love jumping into the
At the time, you're just like, ooh, new video game. But looking back, the type of game that was and what you could do with it was insane. You're just a galaxy. Literally galaxy.
Going through different galaxies, doing different
planets,
challenges.
jumping between planets.
If there was a
platforms.
comet. Oh.
Yeah, that game was well done.
For a game that came out in 2006, legendary.
Yeah.
See, Mario always delivered.
I don't think there's been a Mario mainline game that's flopped. I mean, going back and playing 64 is rough.
But it didn't flop.
Because of the way it aged and how Mario games got better. But it was the first 3D game.
I would throw hands for that game.
Yeah. But the movement in that game felt smooth compared to what was on the market at the time.
Right.
Which eventually
they built it around the controller.
They did. They built it around the controller, and then they were like, "Oh, let's build upon this." They added new mechanics, and that's how Sunshine was born.
Fucking Z camera. Oh shit.
Sunshine is really just the more realized 64, and then after that you get Galaxy, and then don't worry, David. We're all staring at you. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We had that long break because Galaxy came out, and then they were like, "Fuck it, Galaxy 2."
Yeah, right. Oh, Yoshi, go fucking.
If you look at Metacritic, Galaxy 2 is higher rated than the first one, probably because they perfected it and they just went, "Hey, here's more of the same."
Yeah,
but it just
some
works.
Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi. And then it took fucking like 10 years, and then Odyssey came out.
And what a hell of a game. That's amazing. That's like N64 on like drugs.
Because they were like, "Hey, what if we build these great, expansive open worlds where you go and you find all these moons?"
And there's something around every corner. So there's always something.
And then like, how about instead of making it because the thing about the game is it's got the best platforming because of the way that you're able to maneuver the hat.
Yeah, and like
bounce and jump, and they added rolls and ducks and dives, and they have ways that you can swing the controller.
You can throw the hat upwards, downwards.
Yeah. And then the hat lets you turn into something that you throw it at. Insane.
Yeah.
It is an absolutely insane game.
Fuck yeah.
I know they had that Luigi balloon mode where you would go and you would place a balloon down on the map, and basically somebody had like 8 seconds to go find it, and some people would put them in crazy spots.
They glitch through the walls.
Did you get there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They'd glitch through walls. They'd figure out ways to get coins so that because coins would extend the timer, but they figured out a way to grab coins, go around a building, jump off the building,
Grab
and
more
be able
coins.
to roll and dive and then wahoo over across the map to be able to grab this balloon.
Yeah.
It's insane what people were able to came up with in those Mario games.
Yeah.
Did you? All of you guys play Odyssey?
Yes, I beat Odyssey.
Yeah. What's your favorite kingdom from that one? Mine was the luncheon one. I love the colors in luncheon.
The luncheon one. I'm a slut for the desert levels in all the Mario games.
Oh, so the
forgot the name
upside
of
down
it.
pyramid one.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a fan. I like all the desert levels because the soundtrack bangs. Because they're like, hey, we should get a pipes in the soundtrack.
Bikes.
Yeah.
David.
I haven't played it enough to.
Oh,
say.
okay.
I remember vividly being in one level where it was the desert with a bunch of stuff on top of the roofs, and some kind of brick fort that you had to take over, or that you had to go through. I think not take over, but go through. Yeah, I just remember that one level because Grace was playing it mainly.
Oh, okay. It's a hell of a game. There's the scene in there where you go like the first time you go to like the Metropolis area, and like you beat that level. Fuck. What an amazing like. Ugh. They do like a sequence of like of you going. Oh shit.
Whoa.
This one's on the Switch.
This is
right?
on the Switch. Yeah.
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 They do an amazing sequence with like the new song, like a little homage to all the old games. Like, oh, it's fucking beautiful.
I'll have to play through it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah,
on that.
it's like
Odyssey's
should
a
we play it?
very well crafted game, and it is completely overshadowed by Breath of the Wild because they both came out in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And I will agree, Breath of the Wild is such a crazy game for how expansive it is.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what turns me off from it. Is
Exactly.
I loved playing the older Zelda games, but that was only because I got halfway through the game before I'd get really pissed off with the puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, Zelda has always been confusing. It probably goes back to restarting Majora's Mask every time I played it. But
It doesn't really tell you.
I've had Twilight Princess HD for the last 6 years on the Wii U. I still have not beat it because I pick it up every once in a while, play it for like an hour, get stuck, and I go,
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like you got to really figure shit out.
Yeah,
It's fucking.
the second and third playthrough of the game is so good because you're able to go back, collect all the hearts that you missed, go and get all the rupees that you wanted, and go and upgrade your skills and weapons the way you want them to. The first playthrough was always figuring it out, and for me, figuring it out was always frustrating because it always turns into 1 hour of me running around going, I literally don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sounds like DayZ.
It's a little
yeah.
bit different, but yeah, Twilight Princess HD slaps on the Wii U.
Yeah, great game. Another great game right there.
It's on the GameCube, the Wii, and the Wii U. Because it was originally a Wii or GameCube game.
Yeah.
But they needed a Zelda game to sell their console. They always need a Zelda game to sell their console, so they doubled it. It also came out on the Wii alongside the GameCube. And then Skyward Sword was the Wii Zelda game.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the sword works in the game, and you have to point it at the TV, and you can raise the sword for different attacks.
Yeah.
It works really well.
But then that one kind of sucked. The original one kind of sucked because
Skyward was interesting because it was more of the same that Twilight Princess introduced, and a lot of people weren't huge fans of Twilight Princess. They enjoyed Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time a little bit too much. They were used to those kind of games, which I think they're all pretty similar. Honestly, they're all in the same vein. And then Breath of the Wild came out. That's a Wii U game.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild.
But they rebuilt it to put it on the Switch. And it's such
Wow.
basically, it's such a shame because in the game, you know how you use that tablet? I forget what it's called in the game, but it's
The
literally
Sheikah
called a
Slate.
tablet. The Sheikah Slate. It was literally supposed to be you stare at your TV and you're playing The Legend of Zelda, and then you use the Sheikah tablet to solve puzzles on the gamepad.
What?
And it was supposed to be a crazy experience, but because they wanted it to come out with the Switch so that they could
took
sell
that out.
Switch units, they took out that feature because they didn't want their new console to be missing a feature that the Wii U had.
Wow.
That's the whole reason. Sheikah Slate, yeah. So that was the whole reason behind the Sheikah Slate in the game, but they had to redesign it because they were like, yeah, we need to move on from the Wii U.
We need our Switch back.
Honestly, it's a very good move for them to move on from the Wii U because the Wii U was dying hard.
Right.
Nobody was buying them. Nobody was developing for it, so it was pretty much Nintendo putting their own games on the Wii U, and if nobody was buying Wii U's, then nobody was playing their games.
Damn.
Scott the
That's
Woz
crazy.
has a cool series. It's called The Dark Age of Nintendo on YouTube, and it details some of the worst Nintendo games that came out between 2014 and 2015. Because he considers 2014, 2015 to be Nintendo's worst years.
Wow.
Because of just the way that they shunned other developers from the Wii U and their first party titles. We got our own shit, fuck you. The 3 games he pointed out were Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, I found that at Target for $5 and I bought it because I was like, oh, Animal Crossing. I had no idea it was a fucking Wii Party ripoff.
Oh my god.
And it's so bad because you need Amiibos to play the game. If you don't have Amiibos, you can't play the game.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You have to buy the Amiibo.
Yeah, I have the Amiibos because it came with the Amiibos.
Right.
But the game sucks. It really does. It sucks. The second one is Mario Tennis All-Stars Star Power.
Oh, I think I remember.
Whatever the Wii U
Right.
Mario Tennis game was.
Was it soccer or was it tennis?
It was tennis.
Okay.
And I just heard it was just not great, and it was more of a who cares kind of game. And then the other one was Chibi Robo Ziplash, a game for the 3DS.
What?
It's this weird stepchild that Nintendo's always had. It's a series called Robo Chibi. And basically he argues that Nintendo never gave it a fair shot, and then they marked it as one of their flagship titles of 2015, even though nobody knew what it was. It was a game that was much different from the others in the series, and it was just built to be a gimmick on the 3DS, kind of.
That's weird.
Yeah,
But a flop.
yeah. It flopped. The game definitely flopped. It wasn't...
They were just trying to showboat a failure, kind of, to try to revive it.
The Wii was just a bad time. It was because Nintendo thought they were on top because of the sales of the Wii, and they thought they could muscle everybody around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Xbox and Sony were being more understanding of developers, and they were like, "Oh no, you can come develop games for us.
Yeah, tell us what you need for our.
We'll send you a dev
games."
kit.
Yeah.
It's super easy. Yeah, super chill.
Damn. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Farty poo-poo.
Go to poo-poo.
You mean take shit?
Yeah. I gotta go take a massive shit.
Uh-oh.
After another departure, it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us. Yeah, everyone doesn't know how to use the plunger in the back of their toilet, so they're stuck.
Things are getting a little complicated, but we'll make do.
I brought gloves.
You brought gloves?
Yeah, it's easy.
Oh, no. What's the biggest disaster you've had to solve solo? Like,
What do you mean?
Like some big event and you're just stuck there, like everybody looks at you, or maybe you're the only one there.
Holy shit. When I did Boys State, I didn't know what the district attorney was.
Yeah.
So, for anybody that's not knowledge in Boys State, basically it's like a leadership course where you get nominated by your high school to get sent out to the state's capital, and you and a bunch of other kids, so all boys, that's why it's called Boys State, you all bunk together and they split you into cities, and then it's your job to create functional cities, and then you form a larger government as a whole with all the other cities. So basically it's just a giant mock government program, and it lasts a week. I didn't know what the jobs were because like my friends were telling me, they're like, oh, you gotta go to Boys State, Cyrus, go to Boys State. And I was like, I don't wanna go to Boys State. And then they started telling me, they're like, oh, here's all the fun you're gonna be having and stuff like that. And then they did the other kids in ROTC would pitch it.
Yeah.
Where they were like, hey, we encourage you guys to go to Boys State, here's how we had fun. And they gave their presentation. I remember thinking, okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. Because this kid told me how he was the police chief and how they would have nightly meetings and they just sit in there and talk about stuff. And then they have kids come in and try to argue their case about why they shouldn't get ticketed. Because we'd also get fake money. And we'd use the fake money to pay off debts that we had. If we want, because, you know, in fake government, you need a lobby.
Yeah.
You need to pass bills. You would get fined by the police if you were caught doing shit that you weren't supposed to be doing. So they were just like a police department. He would talk about how they would be down in the laundry room just sitting there talking and shooting the shit, and then they'd have people come in for like mock court, and then they would be the judge, jury, and executioner all at once. I was like, damn, that all sounds dope.
Yeah.
I want to do that. The problem is the bulk of kids that came up from Vegas. So it happened in Reno.
Okay.
They made us stay at the University of Nevada, in the dorms. So they had all these kids from Vegas want to come up because they're like, oh yeah, we get to get out of Vegas, woohoo! Because if you don't know anybody from Vegas, all they want to do is get out of Vegas.
Right.
That's my experience with most people from Vegas. So they get us out, they put us into our cities. There is like a 20-80 split. 80% of kids that attended Boys State are from Vegas. The other 20% is like 15% Reno, and then the other 5% is weird counties around the state. Like
Right.
one of the kids in my city, oh man, I forget his name, but I should go back and look at the yearbook that they gave us. I can't believe we're forgetting his name, but I love this kid because he was so funny. He's from Winnemucca,
Okay.
and he was the coolest kid ever. He's like, yeah, my graduating class is 7.
Dang.
I'm like,
That's
cool.
wild.
Ours is over 500. It's almost 600.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane. We graduated with a lot of people. I I didn't know what the jobs were. I did zero research on Boy State before I went. Like, they gave me the pitch. I signed up and gave them a bunch of bullshit answers that they wanted to hear so that I could go. And they were like, yeah, you're a perfect candidate. And it was because my nomination was from my RO commander, who's a major. So they were like, they respected his opinion because he sent a lot of cool kids before. So like, yeah, dude, send this Cyrus kid that totally didn't bullshit all of his answers and make him up about how much he loves the government and how passionate he is.
Oh shit!
I just wanted to go and fuck around. So I didn't know what the fuck around jobs were because I heard that there was jobs where you don't do anything. You just have fun for a week. And I was like, fucking sick.
Yeah. Yeah, put me there.
Fucking, yeah. So I get there and then we all meet each other in our city. We go out and we do a sports day where we do like inaugural sports where we play and we do like team building activities. We go and we eat. That night was memorable because it was game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals when LeBron won it for Cleveland. Do you remember that game 7 when the Warriors were the best team in basketball with the 73-9 record and they went to that game 7? We were all in the fucking the lunchroom at UNR just sitting there watching this big TV all fucking going hype over this game. And they're like, we're on a tight schedule. We have to go. And we left with 4 minutes left in the game. I missed the big LeBron dunk when he came running down the court and he smacked that ball off the backboard.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that highlight, but it was huge. It was in the final 2 minutes of the game, and it was basically LeBron like, I want to win.
Yeah. I remember seeing that highlight.
I watched it after the game. I was like, fuck, we missed it. But it was such a good game up until that point because it was so back and forth, and it was a low-scoring basketball game by today's NBA standards because the game ended like 80-70 or something like that, like in the 80s and 70s.
Wow.
Very low-scoring game.
Huh.
Anyways, the next meeting was we split up with our cities towards the end of the night, and we immediately jumped into elections. We had to elect the people of our city into jobs. You couldn't just get the job you wanted. You had to be nominated into it. So town mayor goes up. I'm like, okay, cool. But since I wasn't really talking to half the city, I only talked to like 2 or 3 kids at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. Me. And they're like, oh, yeah, how about this kid that went around and got everybody's opinion and they love him? So they picked him. I was like, okay. And then they did like assistants and then they did like other people. And then, you know, I forget all the jobs and the ranks and stuff like that. And we start getting down. And then finally the DA comes up, which is the district attorney. Right. And I was like, oh, that's law stuff. I think I can do that. I was like, yeah. There was me and one other kid raised his hand, Justin.
Yeah.
And he raised his hand and I raised my hand. They're like, all right, guys, let's vote. Everybody vote for Justin. Justin got all the votes. I got no votes. I voted for myself. I was like, fuck. They went through all the jobs and then all the jobs were gone. And there was me and like 7 kids left over. And they're like, okay, everybody that wasn't elected into a job, you're going to be a representative or like a lobbyman that sits on the floor.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, that sounds terrible. Oh, man. So this Justin kid, he walks up to me afterwards and he goes, hey, I noticed you were the only other one that went up. I need an assistant attorney. Because apparently every DA needs an ADA, which is assistant district attorney. Okay. And he was like, do you want to do it? Because you're the only person. I was like, fuck yes. I don't want to get stuck with the kids that didn't get voted into a position.
Right.
Day 2 rolls around. We sit in on our first ADA meeting, and they hand us an 80-page packet that we're expected to know by the end of the week.
What?
And I remember sitting there going, what?
What the heck?
And I didn't hear, they like, because I was toning out because they were talking and shit like that. And I was just sitting there filming through the packet. They asked anybody if they didn't want to do this. And I would have immediately went like, no. But I didn't want to let this Justin kid down. And I was like, God damn it, no fucking. Yeah, okay. I never read the packet. I still have the packet. I never opened it once. And my most embarrassing story was at the end of that week, we had to go stand in the Nevada Supreme Court in front of the appointed federal or Supreme Court judges that we nominated in our own city. So it was a panel of 5 people, I think it was, because there's 5 cities.
Yeah.
We had to present the case that was in the packet and convince the judges that we were right.
Oh my God.
And that wouldn't have been bad because it would have just been them, our peers.
Right.
Me failing the person standing next to me. Everybody watching in attendance, but they had actual lawyers sitting there giving us advice. And I'm just like, oh no. I remember the whole night before, I literally got like 2 hours of sleep. I was like, I'm going to go embarrass myself in front of all of these people tomorrow. And it's going to be miserable. We were the last ones up. So I'm sitting there watching everybody and I'm like, I fucked up. I didn't read the packet. I didn't know what I was doing. And I knew Justin had zero clue what I was doing. He knew that I didn't read the packet, and he knew I didn't know shit. And he's sitting there talking notes with me, and I'm like, on the bus ride over, I'm like, okay, yep, yep, got it, And then we're doing the flag burning ceremony because we go up to Carson City, the capital.
Yeah.
That's where the Nevada Supreme Court is at. And we're doing the flag burnings. I'm sitting there in the crowd watching all these flags being burned, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's my career here in a second. I'm young to die. And it was cool. I watched that, and then I was trying to chill out, shit like that. And then like, okay, cool, we're going over to the Supreme Court. I was like, oh shit. And then I had a binder with all my notes in it. You opened it up, and it was a bunch of scribbles. There wasn't shit in there. We get up to the stand, and basically we had 10 minutes to present our case. And then, so there was the appellates, and then the whatever the other person was.
Right.
The delegates, I forget what it is. It's an appellate court. It's very different from standard court. That's why I was so confused the whole time, because I never knew there was an appellate court before I even got there. Okay,
rough.
This kid carried me for 10 minutes. I didn't say a fucking word for 10 minutes, and he knew the case so well, front to back.
Wow.
I always remember him walking through the UNR lunchroom, and we'd sit down at a table together, and he was so meticulous in what he did.
Right.
And he would walk, he would dip, he had one of those thermoses with hot water in it, and he'd always put his tea in and infuse it, and he'd be drinking his tea, and he's like, I like the tea, it calms me down. He's like, it's so I can get some more work in and get some more work done. And I always supported him because he wasn't the greatest at athletics. So I was the athletics guy. So whenever we were playing football and shit like that, I'm like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do this, football. You're going to run this route. You're going to do this. You're just going to draw this guy over here. He's not going to throw it to you.
Right.
And it would never happen that way. Nobody ever throw it to him, but he was always drawing a guy off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
We went 9-1 in sports.
That's pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah. We would switch between volleyball, football, and soccer. And there was one city, and they were all football kids. And we ended up beating them, and we don't know how.
Damn.
And it was so awesome because it was just two-hand touch. The only team we lost to was the city of Anderson. They wore green shirts. We were yellow shirts.
Yeah.
A lot of their kids played soccer, and it showed. They beat us by like 20. That was the only game we lost. But we won. We won we won all our volleyball and all our football games. That's beside the point. But we stand there, and he delivers this case for 10 fucking minutes. And the lawyers give up their feedback, and they're sitting there talking, and they're praising him because we ended up winning the case. The judges voted for us 3-2.
Wow.
And they gave us their decision and shit like that. But the lawyers start talking, and they're like, but we didn't hear from your ADA. It would have been, you get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and, it's okay because sometimes the assistants don't talk, and that happens a lot in real life. But, we would have appreciated if you had something to say because, you prepared all week for this. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, damn well I didn't do shit.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I appreciate your input. Noted.
So, yeah, and that was the worst thing I had to do by myself.
Fuck,
right?
man.
I figured out what the other people did. The people that didn't get roles?
Yeah.
They got to, when you watch the TV and they're sitting there passing bills, and those people that sit at desks,
right.
And they sit there and they vote for the bills on the big screen, and they just hit the big yes or no button and sit there and talk about it and shit like that.
Wow.
That's what they did. They got to sit there and vote on bills. They got to kick their feet up on actual Nevada fucking representatives' desk and shit like that. They got their own name cards that they could take home with them and shit like that.
Wow.
I was like, motherfucker, that sounded so awesome. You could sit there and fuck around for 5 hours and vote on bills that were stupid. I think there was a Kanye bill at one point, like changing the Nevada anthem to fucking Kanye. Like kids would have to, get up and put their hands over their hearts, do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then sing a Kanye song. I think somebody actually lobbied it, and then enough money went past where they actually voted on it. And I was so mad. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do because it was me faking it, and I never made it, but the kid totally carried me, and he was so dope.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. That had to be a wild experience for sure.
Yeah. This is when the story turned sour, though. I'm going to shout out RIP to Justin, though.
Yeah.
Passed a few years ago, so.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
But yeah, I always remember that story about him. He was a very good kid.
And
I have nothing but good things to say about him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, rest in peace to his soul. And
absolutely.
That's a crazy good story.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Justin for saving your ass.
Shout out to Justin Hawk. That was his name.
For sure.
He was from Vegas. He was one of the 80%.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's wild. So a kid all the way from Vegas, and you guys, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty cool event, I don't know that I have a story quite
as elaborate,
but I don't know. There were some pretty crazy times in auto class where we're on a project, and automotive stuff has always been kind of a passion for me. So I'm more into the challenge when it comes to automotive type things. But we had my buddy pulled his truck in, and we did a transmission flush on it. And that wasn't a big deal, you know, we put fresh fluid in, and then we start his truck up, and you just hear a bunch of crunching noises, and then it kind of got quiet, smooth, and then I backed the truck out of the garage, put it in drive, and it didn't go anywhere. Put it back in reverse, and it didn't go anywhere. And we had to just kind of go through a list of possible issues and what could be the problem. We took that tranny back out, and removing a transmission from a vehicle is tough enough as is. There's a lot of cross members or different parts of the vehicle that keep the transmission secured, so it doesn't bounce out or whatever. But once we finally got the transmission out, we're like, okay, what's the problem? And the teacher was more of one of those guys where like, you figure it out yourself, bring it to me, and if it's right, good. If not, I'll send you back, and you know, maybe I'll give you a tip of what to find. But man, we spent so much time trying to figure out what's wrong with the transmission. I'm trying to think of the word for it, kind of like troubleshooting. Yeah, troubleshooting what could be the issue. And we finally just ended up sending it off to a different shop and having them do it. But man, I remember just trying my best to figure out what it could possibly be, because transmissions are pretty complicated little boxes, you know.
My when I got my transmission done, it was in the shop from the first week of August to literally I didn't get it back until the last day of September.
Oh fuck.
It brought back a lot of memories because I had to drive the old Explorer.
Yeah.
And when I first started college, I was driving that old Explorer. I drove it for a year and a half to and from the university. And then when I go back for my final semester, it's my first semester back after doing online classes for a year.
Oh, shoot.
Because of the pandemic.
Right.
And I finally get to go back to campus, but I only get to go back for one more semester because that's all I have left on my bachelor's degree. And I'm driving the same Explorer from when I first started school. And it was kind of a nostalgia trip. I remember listening to music that I was listening to when I first started college, and it was cool. And you know, got me feeling kind of down because, you know, when there's people that you talk to when you first do something and sometimes they ain't around no more.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt. And I was just like, man, I wish I could text some people about these experiences, but I can't.
Yeah, dude, that's been
people come and go.
It's been a crazy part of life. People that do come and go. Or
that's the hardest thing about, I think, growing up is realizing, I think people always tell you after high school that people grow apart and you won't always talk to the same people that you did in high school, especially you don't know when you're going to talk to somebody for the last time, somebody that you thought was a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
And that's very disappointing, and that was something that I prepped myself for. But there was people that I just had that I really talked to at the time that I was like, oh yeah, you guys are my, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you guys are going to be around for a while, but yeah. And some of those were just people, you know, they went and did their own things, they went and did my own thing. Some of them were just, they were dumb. And then some of them were like, I was dumb, I was the shitty person, and I will forever be like, fuck.
Yeah.
But you got to pick yourself back up and get over it. Because there are instances where I think of something, I'm like, oh, dude, remember that one time? And I just want to like tell them about it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I was kind of a dickhead, so there's a reason that we don't talk anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am.
Man, yeah, I can relate to a lot of those situations growing up. And like a lot of those, like, yeah, we could have, maybe we both could have handled it better, or I could have handled it better.
Yep.
Kind of things. And it does suck. And it is a difficult part of getting older and growing up and shit. But making friendships that last long is one of the more, it brings happiness to your
It's important
everything.
to grow up and learn from the mistakes that you did, and the
Yeah.
reason that you don't talk to a certain specific person
Right.
that you used to love talking to, especially if you're a friend. Just be better. Maybe there's a reason that it didn't work out.
Yeah, and there's always time to fix and repair things. You know, life's short.
Yeah.
As long as, or as much as we want to believe we got plenty of time, 50 years really ain't shit.
I'm thinking of a very specific friend from middle school that I totally I fucked that friendship up. You know when you say something and you just don't do it.
Right.
Yeah, that was me. I was kind of lazy in high school.
Yeah.
There was a girl I had a crush on in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then we get to 7th grade and we end up going to the same middle school because we were both in the GT program.
Yeah.
And just to be cool, I had a buddy and I just wanted to be cool. So I tried to act like him.
Right.
And he would bully that girl. So then in turn, I started bullying her too. Just because I wanted my friend to like me.
Right. Dude,
And he
I
ended
did
up-
a lot of that too.
Yeah, and he ended up not coming back for 8th grade. So I'm stuck there in 8th grade and I started to become a better kid as a result. But I had already absolutely shattered that relationship.
Right.
Funny thing about that girl is we had lunch, I think my 3rd year at college.
Yeah.
She was dating one of my other friends. And so we all went to we went to a taco shop together and I sit down at the table and her and him walk in. I was like, oh my God, you're dating her? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh. And she was nice to me, but I could tell that she was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude. That was being in a position like that, just you're a kid and just looking for that friendship. It's wild looking back, like what I did to make friends or just fit in somewhere. Sometimes you just look back and you're like, you stupid little shit, or just stuff like that.
Man, Tyson talks about it all the time. Tyson had a really shitty friend.
Yeah.
Really shitty friend. I don't even have a problem fucking talking shit about him, but yeah, it turns out he's a total fucking pedophile now and shit like that. He got caught with a fucking underage girl.
That's disgusting.
Fucking loser. And he would always make Tyson do dumb shit, and I knew it pissed my mom off, but my mom was like, it's his friend.
Right.
And I don't want to step in between him. But my mom had a line where she was just like, you can bring him over here, but you can't go over there.
Yeah.
It's very, very obvious that it was like, this isn't going to work out. And it never did after elementary school, and they went to different schools. I don't think he ever reached back out to. But I remember seeing his face on the news because he was wanted for something stupid.
Oh, God.
And going, oh, there he is. That's what he's doing now, fucking loser.
Shout out to moms, dude. They always know, don't they?
They do.
Fucking moms.
They do. My mom, when Tyson was in kindergarten, there was this other kid in his kindergarten class that was clearly being abused at home.
Yeah.
And my mom found out that he was in a foster home and shit like that. And she ended up uncovering something huge and shit like that. And he ended up getting moved and like totally saved this kid from getting beat every day.
Wow.
Just because she decided to intervene because nobody else wanted to. But, Tyson would be like, oh yeah, he's just got another black guy. No big deal.
Oh.
Fuck you mean your kid's got a black eye? What the fuck? My mom took that personally. She's like, it's not my kid, but it's somebody's responsibility to say something.
Right.
Especially when it comes to kids. They're fucking kids.
Yeah, kids are so fragile, and that's another part that's scary about growing up in this time and age.
Another thing that my mom did was when Jay was in kindergarten, there was a kid in his kindergarten class. His name was Felipe.
Yeah.
And I always remember this kid. He had a really bad heart condition.
Yeah.
And he was just a little kid. Like, he was tiny and frail and stuff like that. And he ended up passing away when he was in kindergarten. And it was really sad for the teachers because they all got to know him in preschool and stuff like that. And
Wow.
into kindergarten and stuff. And everybody loved him and his parents and shit like that. And his parents' house burned down like 2 months after he passed. And they lost everything.
Holy shit.
And it was fucking terrible. And my mom ended up going to the school and she was able, and their family didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
And they didn't really know where to go after that.
Yeah.
And when they lost everything in the fire, they lost all the pictures of Felipe.
Oh,
so they
God.
had nothing. My mom ended up going back to the school and she found the company that took the school pictures. She got the master file and she sent it out to an artist, and they had a giant picture of this kid painted, and she presented it to the family.
That's
and it was on behalf of the school, so like it was a school that set it up and shit like that.
Dang.
And it was really cool. And yeah, my mom's always kind of done the right thing.
Yeah. I remember a lot of moments where just mom was there in the right moment and right time.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, big time to all the moms.
Yep. But I remember when you didn't give me that ring pop that one time. Like,
Yeah.
when I begged for it, like I asked for it and you didn't get it. And like I was really mad that night because I didn't get that ring pop.
That's why she's gonna sit in the shitty diaper. No.
You're going to the bed retirement home.
Dude, they get pretty gnarly these days. Retirement homes can be pretty sketch. They're 50-50. Either they take really good care of their guests,
Or they just want your money and they'll send you on your way.
yeah, those are
Oh man.
crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of good stories.
Indeed. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so. Before we start talking about like feelings.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, you know where to find us. We're on Twitter, Twitch. Well, how about you just check the link tree? We made it
have a
really
link tree.
easy.
Yeah,
it's right down there.
Go explore all of our links and figure out where they go.
Right. Yep.
They're clearly labeled. There's no guessing.
Patreon, only $1. It's less than it's penny more than Arizona.
A penny more than Arizona.
Anyways, you guys check out the Let's Plays we've got. Keep an eye out for the DayZ series that's going to be up and going soon. And yeah, help us make a movie. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.